For decades, the global economy has run on a single, relentless engine. It extracts raw materials from the earth, manufactures them into products, sells them, and eventually throws them away. Take, make, dispose. We repeat this straight-line process billions of times a day. This model hits a mathematical wall. It generates waste at a much higher volume than our planet can physically absorb. The immediate result is an overload. We are pumping more pollution into the atmosphere than it can process and choking our rivers with discarded products. On the other end of the line, we are depleting our natural resources. We are extracting materials at a pace that will eventually leave future generations without the raw components they need to build. The numbers don't add up. An economic system that requires infinite extraction from a finite planet is mathematically doomed. Transitioning to a new model is a strict matter of survival. Here in the Philippines, an alternative framework is already taking shape: the circular economy. This diagram replaces the straight line with a continuous loop. Instead of taking and disposing, the circular model runs on four mechanics: reduce, reuse, redesign, and regenerate. In this system, products are explicitly engineered for longevity. They are designed to be returned, remanufactured, and recirculated rather than discarded. We actually do this intuitively. The local Ukay Ukay system operates as a massive, highly efficient engine for recirculating garments, keeping thousands of textiles in motion and out of landfills. You can also see it in neighborhood repair cafes. By fixing a broken fan or a rusted radio, consumers actively defy the traditional instruction to simply buy a replacement. These daily Filipino practices provide the exact mechanical blueprint for a high-efficiency global economic model. The same logic applies when we look past the consumer and focus on macro corporate strategy. The principle behind a local repair cafe translates directly into zero-waste manufacturing. Companies engineer their production lines to squeeze maximum utility out of every single material. This leads to industrial symbiosis, essentially the macro-industrial-grade version of the Ukay Ukay. This diagram shows how it works inside an economic zone. The chemical byproduct or excess heat from one factory flows straight into the intake pipes of a neighboring facility, acting as their raw material. As we expand this diagram to show an entire economic zone, you see a complete web of shared resources. Waste from one process becomes input for another, and the concept of a trash bin disappears from the manufacturing lexicon entirely. Shifting from the thrift store to the factory floor proves the circular economy is a complete, highly efficient restructuring of the industrial supply chain. Circular strategies represent a primary driver of new profit for Philippine firms today. Companies that design for circularity immediately cut their operational costs. They take expensive waste disposal liabilities and sell them as valuable assets to other industries. This split-screen chart shows the impact on supply chain resilience. The linear economy leaves you vulnerable to global raw material price shocks. The circular economy relies on recirculated local inputs, creating a stable, predictable cost structure. The operational risks of the linear model have reached a breaking point, leaving circularity as the only viable path forward for long-term growth. Is your business ready for it? Follow Sustain PH Studio for daily sustainability tips made specifically for Philippine business.